welcome to a Tins with Yoga Yoga Bite. Today we're going to have a look at preparatory poses for Ekapada Sirsasana, which is foot to head pose, which is where you put one foot behind your head. We're going to go through preparatory poses for it because it is an advanced pose, so hopefully everyone can find somewhere where they can practice the pose, opening the ankles, the hips, the knees, even if they can't get into the full pose. I can't get into the full pose on very easily, so here we go. So we're going to start with the right leg. So if you just take your left leg out in front, bring your right leg up, and you're just going to cradle the leg into the chest. You want to keep the foot flexed and you're just cradling it. So this is called cradle pose, and this starts to open out the hip and puts the ankle in kind of the right position, so you can move your ankle here just to get a little bit more movement through the ankle, because you are pulling it in slightly. You want to keep your back nice and straight while doing this pose, and I tend to have my elbow just wrapped around on the top of my knee, but you can have it on the thigh if that's easier, but you're just hugging the leg into the chest. And then releasing, and we're going to repeat that on the opposite leg. So swapping the legs around, and then bringing the left leg in. Again, keeping the back nice and straight. You just want to be pulling the leg in to the chest. And releasing that down. So then the next pose is just moving on from that. So starting off with the cradle pose, then what you're going to do is you're going to bring the hands down, you're going to take hold of the foot and you're going to raise your foot, keeping that back nice and straight. So now you might start to feel a little bit of tension in the outside of this hip. If you're quite flexible, you might not feel much here, but again, you're pulling the foot in towards the face and keeping the back nice and straight. And then releasing that down. We're going to do the same with the other leg. You might want to stretch your shoulders out, just stretch your hips out a little bit in between. And the same with the other leg. So again, bringing it into that cradle pose first, then bringing your arm down and taking the foot higher up. And you probably will find that you start to round backwards to start with. Just make sure that you're actually straightening that spine back up. The reason you tend to round backwards is to relieve that pressure that you're feeling on the outside of this hip. The straighter your spine is, the more the hip has to be flexible to get into these positions. And release. So then for the next part, you're going to start bringing your shoulder in underneath the leg itself. So you're coming into that initial pose, taking the foot, then you're going to take the shoulder underneath the leg. So you're starting to move the shoulder in so that the foot can come backwards. And again, bringing the spine nice and straight. And releasing that. So ideally, before you're moving into the full pose, which is bringing the foot behind the head, you want to be able to get your spine really nice and straight in that pose and the foot quite close to the face, and then you've got the flexibility in the hip to be able to move the foot behind the head. And repeating with the other side, and you're just moving through these till where you start to feel the strain, and then you stay in that pose, and gradually you'll work the areas and they'll open up a little more and you'll be able to move deeper into the pose. Not everybody's body will be able to allow for the foot to be placed behind the head, so you just go to what is comfortable with your body. That still works your body, that's still developing the muscles and the ligaments and the tendons within the body. You shouldn't push your body past where it's willing to go, because that can cause damage. So coming into it on the other side, and then and releasing. So as I said, the next section is then to put your foot behind your head. My hips are not flexible enough today. I can tell that from the previous pose that we've just done. My left leg is feeling a lot more flexible. I might be able to get it behind my head. Definitely can't with my right leg today. My foot's too far away from my face to be able to be comfortable moving into that full pose. This is what you need to do. You need to listen to your body. Don't push it back. Don't push it beyond where it's willing to go. But for the full pose, you would come into that previous pose, shoulder under the foot, and then you could put your foot behind your head, and then you'd bring your hands into prayer pose. Your body will be slightly angled forward here. There's nothing you can do to prevent that, just as long as you do it as best you can on both sides, and then do a nice counter stretch where you're stretching your shoulders, your upper back in the opposite direction. And thank you for watching. I hope this helps you progress your practice in some way. Namaste.